Joining me in the studio this morning, I got Sports Information Director, Mr. Nathan Baliva from Monmouth College. How you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Warm week.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have anything outside with all that going on. We had a couple warm ones last week, and it'll be nice to not be sitting out there in 89 because that means it's also going to be 95 feels like or whatever for soccer. We had water breaks during the games last week and all that stuff. So I know it's going to be a rough one for practice for all of our sports minus volleyball, which is inside. But to get out there for cross country, they got to meet this week. Soccer will be out there. Football obviously will be out there every day with their home game this week. So yeah, that's a tough set of challenges for the coaches and the student athletes to deal with, and hopefully they'll stay hydrated and take care of themselves and have a good week of practice.
Yeah, I don't know what the NCAA has. I know I've gotten to know the term wet globe temp with high school. I don't know if they have that for college.
Wet bulb is the one, and Bob Foster, athletic trainer, keeps everybody on top of it. There were a few days in August where they weren't allowed to go outside between 1 and 6 or whatever the high temps were when it was over 105 with the feels like. I don't think we'll get that high this week, but he will. I'm sure he'll send out an email early in the week reminding them to stay hydrated and take the water breaks and get that stuff taken care of, and they all seem to be doing a good job with that. And then like I said in soccer, when it's above the 85 range and the feels like is 90 or above, they do the water breaks halfway through each half. We had that last Thursday night with the men's soccer game against Wisconsin Stevens Point. We had it for one of the women's games earlier this year as well. So they get that stuff built in as well.
We spoke last Monday morning, a whole lot of red on the composite schedule, which means there was a whole lot of work for you to do at home.
It was a very busy week. Yeah, we survived. This was one of the two busiest weekends of the fall, and I'm still here, so we made it through. But it was. Originally, we were supposed to have a home event every day, Tuesday through Sunday. The soccer team, Edgewood, that we were supposed to play on the men's side on Wednesday, they backed out a couple weeks ago, couldn't get transportation, something in that area. So we ended up having Wednesday off, which was nice. But yeah, started on Tuesday. Women's soccer played at home against Eureka. That was a 10-0 win. Probably could have been a lot more, but took out a lot of players. In that one, Danielle Beach had a hat trick, also had 3 assists. So she finished with 9 points, which is the second most points in a game in school history. The record's 11. So she was right there, knocking on the door of that. And again, didn't play the last 30-some minutes of the game. But we had 6 different goal scorers in that. It was nice to see them get out there and take care of business. They had a 4-0 lead at half and then scored 3 goals in the first 4 minutes of the second half. So right away it was 7-0. Went to a running clock at 9, which was agreed upon by both of the coaches and the center referee, and then finished off with 10 on that one, and got a couple players their first career goal. So that's always nice when that happens. One of them a defender. Avery Parks has been all conference both years. She's played here as a defender. She plays every single minute and is always in the back and doesn't have an opportunity. She went up late in that game and got a goal, which was nice. And the players on the bench went nuts when she scored. So that was cool to see. And they got that big win. And then Thursday, men's soccer came out with their home opener. They played Wisconsin Stevens Point. Back and forth all game, pretty even, in shots and all that stuff, but nobody scored. We hit the post with 24 seconds left. Their goalie also made a tremendous save on a header off a corner kick with about 5 minutes to play, where I thought I was doing play-by-play of that game, and I was getting ready to go into a goal call, and he stuck his hand, halfway into the goal and knocked it out, so that denied us there. And then, like I said, we hit the post with 25 seconds left. So that one ended up 0-0. And then we hosted a volleyball tournament, which we haven't done in my time here. I know they did that back when Carrie Shimon was the coach for a while in the 2010s. They would host a tournament. But we had Westminster, Central, MSOE, and Knox here. Monmouth went 3-0, but we hosted 4 games on Friday, 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then we hosted 10, 12, 2, 4, and 6 on Saturday. So felt like I was inside the gym for a good portion of the weekend, and it gets hot in there. You know that for being in there broadcasting games, and as hot as it was outside, there was a few times they had to stop and wipe up the condensation on the floor because it was so humid in the gym. And we had great crowds too, even without Saturday. Actually, Friday and Saturday, football team's gone. Both soccer teams are gone. Women's tennis is gone. They were all on overnight somewhere, so they were all gone all weekend with their trips. So we were minus 150 to 200 students on campus. Still a really nice crowd. Pep band came in and played on Saturday for the Monmouth Knox game. They did a great job. President Draves and her husband Jeff were down there for their first volleyball match, which was awesome to see. And we had a bunch of the other coaches and some of the track team and basketball teams and all of that. I had some helpers from one of Chris Gobel's sports information communication classes where they were volunteering to work, and then I had my crew going, and we had softball team works with volleyball, so they were there working, and we just cranked out 9 straight volleyball games throughout the weekend. And like I said, Monmouth went 3-0. Freshmen played really well. You could tell on Friday a little bit of nerves in that first match, which was their first home match. We dropped the first set, but then won the next 3, won that match, and then Saturday they just dominated MSOE and Knox both, straight sets in both. Won a couple sets like 25-10 and 25-12, and Kaylee Sealis, a freshman, led us in kills. We had 17 aces as a team against Knox, which is the fourth most in a 3-set match in school history, and really just dominated that. I know Coach Derek Brockmeyer was really happy with the way they played, especially against MSOE and then Knox on Saturday night. So some really good volleyball. It's fun to watch the freshmen. We start 6 of them. Mixed in there with a couple senior captains and get through that rotation. So it's fun to watch them play. And unfortunately, they're not home again until October 11th. So I can't tell people to come out and watch them right away. It is, yeah. They go to a tournament in La Crosse, Wisconsin this weekend. They go to Terre Haute, Indiana for a couple neutral site games next weekend. Then they open conference on the road, homecoming weekend, and then they're home on Friday, October 11th, which unfortunately for us is fall break. So again, they're going to be back home in a big match against IC, which very well might determine who goes to the conference tournament, behind Cornell and Grinnell, who's usually up there, and then it's kind of us, Lake Forest, and IC for those last 2 spots. So we host them in a big match. Unfortunately, there's going to be very few people on campus. Football's on the road that weekend at Grinnell, and it's fall break, so everybody else is going to have to step up. Take off. So, yeah, we're going to hopefully get the community out there and watch this team play well. And, again, it's a Friday night, which means we're also got high school football going on. I don't know if MR or United are home on the 11th, but it's a rough part of the schedule, but then we get back-to-back weekends at home where we've got the campus community here to support. So that's still a few weeks away. They've got some road games to play before that, but they're a fun team to watch. Kaylee Sealis from Anawan, Chloe Strahan from Rockridge, a couple of the local freshmen. We got Tyler Matson from Morton, and then we've got a freshman, Paige Foltz, who is from Iowa, and Melina Tunis, who is from Michigan, and Lauren Aldrich, who's from Wakanda, Illinois. So those are our freshmen that cycle through and play, along with Lane Wright, Savannah Robinson, and Paige Bergschneider, who are the seniors who are captains, and they're all 3 climbing career lists. Lane in kills and aces, Savannah's closing in on 1,000 digs, Paige is closing in on 1,500 career assists. So there's some accomplishments for the seniors, and then the freshmen really contributing as well.
It's a great recruiting job by Coach Brown.
Yeah, he went out and got it. His first real recruiting class he inherited. He started in late May, early June the year before. So the sophomore class, he added a transfer in Shay Scott, who played on Saturday against MSOE from Iowa Wesleyan after they closed. But the freshman that came in had been brought in by Emily Thibault, and this is really his first class. So yeah, he went all over the place. He goes out to all the coaching conventions and the big national tournaments. He was in Vegas this summer, in Orlando. He gets up to tournaments in St. Louis and Chicago and Indianapolis and that kind of stuff, and that's where he is able to find some good. Went to one in Omaha, which is right by where he's from. He's from Nebraska, so was able to get back over there and go to that. I think he went to one in Des Moines, late this summer too. So he's all over the place, getting that stuff done.
Nice. Had some tennis and some football.
Yeah, everything went on the road Saturday. Tennis went to Grinnell and Cornell for the women. Unfortunately, lost to Grinnell 7-0 and then lost to Cornell 5-2. Ivana Stefanova got a win at number one singles against Cornell, so that's great. And Natalie Holst got her second win beating Cornell. She got a win last weekend, non-conference, her first win. And then the men went yesterday to Simpson and Buena Vista. Same score, 7-0 and 5-2. We had a freshman who got his first win, and Alfonso Maris at number 6 singles yesterday against Cornell. So that was great to see. Soccer was at Co over the weekend. The women played a 0-0 draw. Anna Castor saved a penalty kick there, which was big. And then the men lost 3-2. Scored with 2 minutes left to get it to 3-2 as Owen Murray got his third goal of the year, but couldn't get a goal in the last 2 minutes to pull even. Football went up to Chicago. Fell behind right away on the first drive and then scored 31, I think it was, unanswered. So it was up 31-7. Really dominated on the ground. McCade Brooks was over 100 yards, scored 2 touchdowns. Nate Rublick scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. Looked like the defense from what I saw while working volleyball and kind of having it on the screen on the side. Every time I looked over, it seemed like the defense was chasing somebody down. I know there was 4 or 5 sacks in the game and tackles for loss, another 3 or 4 of those, and they looked like they played well in those second and third quarters, and then gave up a late touchdown, which changed the score to a little bit closer than it really probably was, but got that big road win against Chicago. I know talking to Coach afterwards, he said it's always a tough place to play, and nice to get that first conference win and get the win, and I know he'll talk to you about it here in a few minutes, but got that win, and then golf hosted a tournament here this weekend. Briggs Bossert finished second. He shot a 69 yesterday, which is the 4th best score by a Monmouth golfer at Gibson Woods. For the weekend, he was 1 under par, which is the second best 36-hole round. It was I think it was 3 off of the record from 1975, so that goes back quite a bit for that record, but he played well and finished second. A young man from Waldorf University shot a 66 yesterday, which won it for the men, and a guy from Augie had an ace on I think it was 13. Coach said with a 6-iron on 13, got a hole-in-one from Augie. So some pretty good golf played out there. It rained on them on Saturday, and I know it was pretty soft yesterday, so they like that. And on the women's side, we didn't have a team score, but finished 6th on the men.
Good. What we got coming up this week?
This week's a little lighter. During the week, we've got soccer on Wednesday. The women go to Augie, and the men go to Illinois Wesleyan, so both of them are on the road on Wednesday. Volleyball is going to head to a tournament in La Crosse, Wisconsin. They're going to play 2 matches on Friday night. They're going to play against McAllister and Wisconsin La Crosse. Then on Saturday, they'll play against Luther in Nebraska Wesleyan. That whole tournament's up there. Cross country back in action after 2 weeks off. They'll run on Friday night down in Bradley at the Bradley Invitational at Detweiler Park in Peoria. And then Saturday, women's soccer's home at 10 a.m. We moved that up an hour since we have football at 1. So it's a 10 a.m. kickoff for women's soccer against Illinois Wesleyan. And then football will play Lawrence at 1 p.m. It's family weekend, so we'll have people all over campus all weekend, which will be great. Women's tennis is going to go to St. Ambrose on Saturday, and then men's tennis goes to Elmhurst on Sunday. And we've got golf will be at it's called the Midwest Region Classic. It's hosted by Benedictine, which is in Illinois, but the event is in Wisconsin. So it's a little weird. It's in a place called Kansasville, Wisconsin. They go up there every year, and for some reason, Benedictine is the host out of there, even though they're in the Chicago suburbs. So, but they'll be up there golfing on Friday and Saturday for all of that. So it's a busy weekend. The home events are women's soccer at 10 a.m. On Saturday and football at 1 p.m. And then they've got a JV game on Sunday for football as well.
Like you said, family weekend this weekend?
Yep, it's family weekend, so we'll have, they'll have the legacy meal that they do on the weekend. We'll have families throughout campus all weekend long. They've got some events scheduled for Friday and Saturday. I believe there's a concert going on as well. I think I saw that there's a comedian presented by ASAP up there, and the different stuff they've got on their schedule. They've got a cookout going on campus and a bunch of different events. So people that go on to Facebook or Instagram on the Monmouth College can find that schedule for family weekend. I know they posted it on Friday. So we'll have people all over the place and hosting a couple of events on Saturday for athletics.
I will see you at April Zorn on Saturday afternoon.
We'll be there, Sean. Thanks.
That's SID, Sports Information Director at Monmouth College, Mr. Nathan Baliva.